Welcome to the Morning Report, a production of fightbackmedia.com, the #1 source of urban conservative information in America.
Well, good morning. My name is Willie Lawson, and welcome to the Morning Report. The Morning Report is a production of fightbackmedia.com, 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 and fightbackmediatv.com. We trust that you are well today. Today, our top story reveals a groundbreaking initiative that's finally tackling the bloated federal bureaucracy that has been draining taxpayer dollars for decades. The Department of Government Efficiency, aptly nicknamed DOGE, is unleashing cutting-edge artificial intelligence to expose wasteful spending in our federal agencies. Like, a lot of people are wondering, how are they coming up with all this stuff, and how are they doing it so quickly? AI. So, in a major victory for government accountability, Elon Musk's DOGE team has deployed sophisticated AI technology to scrutinize every dollar flowing through the Department of Education. This unprecedented audit, first reported by the Washington Post, marks a decisive step towards fiscal responsibility in Washington. The AI system, powered by Microsoft's Azure advanced computing capabilities, is doing what bureaucrats have failed to do for years, tracking every single taxpayer dollar, from bloated contracts to questionable grants and excessive travel expenses. Finally, someone is following the money. And we say that all the time, if you want to know why something's going on, follow the money. And it seems incredible that in all this time, government has decided, or the bureaucrats have decided, they weren't going to. So much, in fact, that they've got the American citizen thinking that, well, of course, government is inefficient. But I think they get away with it because people are still under the impression that government's heart's in the right place. So if something is that big, it's going to be inefficient. Well, right now, the debt of the nation is at $37 trillion. If I may use the phrase that the eco-terrorists use, it's not sustainable. You can't keep that up. You can't keep up a debt of $37 trillion. And I wish I could sit here and just blame Democrats. This debt gets built up every single solitary presidential term, every congressional term, every House representative term, every senatorial term, all the way to what we have now, $37 trillion and growing by the second. So it would seem to me, and it should seem to you at this point, it's really time to at least look into some stuff. What do you think? It would seem like it would be the proper time to say, hey, maybe we should start looking at some things. There are sources within the Department of Education that reveal DOGE's artificial intelligence is accessing comprehensive financial records, including detailed information about grant management, an area historically plagued by inefficiency and questionable allocations. Department leadership has granted full access to these records, signaling a new era of transparency in federal spending. So if there are people out there who are arguing against transparency, let me say that again. If there are people who are out there arguing against transparency in these agencies, then that's something that we should look at. There's people you should look at, right? If they're hopping up and down because now we're actually finding some stuff out, or have the potential to find some things out, maybe it's them. Maybe they're the problem. Don't you think? What makes this initiative particularly effective is its thorough approach. So, kind of unlike traditional audits that can take years and cost millions of dollars, this AI system can process vast amount of data in record time, identifying patterns of waste that human auditors might miss. But DOGE isn't stopping at education. The efficiency initiative has already expanded to several key agencies, including USAID, where decades of foreign aid spending will finally face proper scrutiny. The Small Business Administration, examining years of program expenditures, the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services, where billions of taxpayer dollars flow annually. The speed of implementation has left the opposition scrambling for responses, as the AI system works tirelessly to identify potential areas for cost reduction. This revolutionary approach to government oversight represents exactly what President Trump promised, bringing private sector efficiency to government operation. The DOGE team, comprised of veterans from Musk's successful technology enterprises, is applying Silicon Valley's best practices to drain the Washington swamp. Now, what we're hearing is there's a lot of young people, 19, 20, 21-year-olds, going into these government agencies and asking questions. Yeah. Now, if you grew up like I grew up, especially when it comes to computing, when I was at Florida State University, back in the late 70s, 1979, 80. No, I got to Florida State in 1980. And the people who were running the computers at Florida State at the time were my age. They weren't 60 years old. They weren't 50 years old. They didn't have 50 years in. No, they had a few more years in than I did. But because they were the experts, because they had done it, they had a little more time than I did. And that's the people that we see in Silicon Valley. We don't see a bunch of the 40-year-olds in there who are in the suit and tie that we see in front of Congress. We see the people like Elon Musk. We see the nerds and the tech heads. They're asking the questions because they understand the technology and they understand the algorithms. And they're able to ask the hard questions. Like, I don't know, what do you do here? Asking people to justify what they do there. And if you're working in the job and you can't justify what you do where you are, and then you're mad because someone says, we might need to, if you do it every day and you can't justify it, then maybe we should eliminate it. If you can't tell me why you do this, why this is important to the mission, why are we paying you money to do it? Why are we paying you $100,000 to do it? That doesn't even make any sense. What's the phrase? If it don't make money, it don't make sense. What are you doing? Anyway, the DOGE team, who's comprised of veterans from Musk's successful technology enterprises, is applying Silicon Valley's best practices to drain the Washington swamp. Early indicators suggest that the initiative could identify billions with a B, potential savings. Unlike previous reform attempts that got bogged down in bureaucratic red tape, this AI-driven analysis is proceeding at unprecedented speed, making it harder for entrenched interests to obstruct its progress. Okay. While career bureaucrats and their allies in Washington are expressing concern about the pace of change, American taxpayers can finally see real action on government waste. We use the phrase government waste and fraud and waste all the time, but it doesn't seem like anybody ever was interested in actually doing anything about the waste or the fraud. And we just sort of use that back and forth. We need to get the waste and the fraud out. Until someone decided, let's actually get the waste and the fraud out. So this initiative may well represent the most significant government reform effort in modern history. Well, as time goes on, we'll continue to talk about this story as DOGE expands its mission to restore, hopefully, financial sanity to our federal government. Not everybody's going to like it. I mean, you already know. And what I've been saying this week, a hit dog, a holler. There are people who do not like this change because it messes with their bag. They don't like it because it messes with their bag. My name is Willie Lawson. This is the Morning Report. Morning Report is posted on fightbackmedia.com, 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 and fightbackmediatv.com. Until we see you again, go out there and learn something, love somebody, and for goodness sakes, y'all take care of yourself. We'll see you when we see you. Bye now.